They are making a difference on 938 Live.
Have you ever wondered who you might turn to if you find yourself in a crisis situation overseas? A lot of us travel with our basic travel insurance and just hope everything goes well when we're on holiday or traveling for business. But there are trained professionals here in Singapore dealing with these situations every day. We take a look at some of these professions via International SOS. First up, I spoke to Dr David Teo. He's the Regional Medical Director of Assistance Services South and Southeast Asia of International SOS.
From the medical assistant point of view, which my company provides, we have doctors who are available 24/7 to provide medical assistance, right, to callers that include our Singaporeans overseas, right, who are seeking medical or security assistance.
And these are just medical situations, though?
No, it can be a mixture of medical or security situation. For example, like bomb threats, or they're caught in some place where there are terrorist attacks, all right, or robbery. That's for security. And medical, it may be as simple as a query on pre-trip advice for what vaccination to take, what are the precautions do I have to take if I'm going to Bangladesh, and all the way to a medical emergency, like my partner next to me is not moving, all right, just collapse on the floor.
Dr. Teo, what does your job entail? You're the Regional Medical Director for Assistance Services South and Southeast Asia.
Well, I take charge and supervise the teams of doctors. So we have centers like in Southeast Asia, right, in Thailand, in Malaysia, India, Philippines, Hong Kong, Singapore, who provides, we have teams of doctors is able to be on the line to answer query and provide assistance over the phone. And, of course, on the phone, my team of doctors were able to give the medical advice to the callers. So depending, as I said earlier on, what type of assistance they require. So it may be a simple answering of a query of what vaccination to take and what prophylaxis to take, and vis-a-vis assisting the caller in a real medical emergency, like redirecting the patient to the right hospital and even guiding him through if the other side knows about CPR and resuscitation.
Like you mentioned, the questions that come into you guys must be so varied, especially since we're looking across the region, which has different challenges all around. I mean, how do you prepare your doctors to be able to answer these questions effectively?
Okay, I guess essentially most of our doctors are come already trained, right, with their background of medical knowledge. Right, on top of that, we also provide them with training in terms of how to handle calls. And we have a very good backup systems in terms of administration and logistics. So while the doctor is working on the medical query and medical responses, our background, we have a full backup of in terms of what we call a global network in terms of our providers. For example, every country, which hospital to go, which are the good hospital, the capability we will know because we have visited those places before. And those from our computer we can pull out very fast. In fact, our local doctors here usually knows those few countries very well. Right? Say, for example, they're in Kuantan, I know which hospital to go. They're in Hainan Island, we know which hospital to go. So from there, we can direct the ambulances and hospital there appropriately.
How do you know which hospital to go? You've been to all these countries before?
All right. So maybe I'll take it in two parts here. Right? The first part here is those countries under the responsibility of the various center, the medical facilities will be audited by our team, which means we have a person responsible called a network manager. At the same time, with our team of doctors, we'll go and visit those hospitals. Say, example, in Malaysia, say you go to Kuantan, we know Kuantan Specialist or Kuantan General Hospital. All right? Say you're going to Indonesia, we know Medistra, we know all those hospitals there. So my Indonesian network manager and the doctor will visit those places. And the evaluation all will be locked down in our computerized data. All right, so whenever we need certain location, right, we can quickly do a search and pull out those hospitals. All right, so that's one. Right. Second thing is that we also have what we call local knowledge. So most of this, let's say, for the Malaysian doctor will know Malaysia hospital inside out, and not just the hospital. Some of them will know the doctors very well, like appropriate type of specialists, for example. All right, so I think on the third point, when we take the call, we try to match the caller's medical condition, means the type of diagnosis we are dealing with, the urgency, vis-a-vis the hospital capability. As an example, let's say we have a patient with a very bad burns injury, right? Let's say in Indonesia or in Malaysia, Tawau Island, for example, locality. Like we know that best burn center is sitting here in Singapore, so we will move the patient, right? So it's pretty much matching the diagnosis, the severity, and also capability. Can the local hospital manage that? If not, which will be the nearest appropriate hospital?
It seems like a very different kind of job from what we understand of normal doctors, like conventional doctors. Is there any critical skill that the doctors under your watch in providing aid in crises actually need beyond their arsenal of medical knowledge?
Well, I guess the key word for us really is this word called passion. All right, I think many of our doctors, some of them will prefer to see patients clinically in a hospital setting. But over here is where, as you have mentioned, it's quite a different game here, where we are giving advice over the phone. All right, and then this is day and night. We have doctors going on shift. So really, the type assistant when provide the phone, something I cannot see, but we have to feel really passionate about helping people, all right, and getting the appropriate care, all right, to the patient, the right type of care. So it requires a lot of passion from my doctors.
And that was Dr. David Teo. He's the Regional Medical Director of Assistance Services of South and Southeast Asia of International SOS. Tomorrow on They Are Making a Difference, we'll talk to Assistant Operations Manager Cynthia Ang to find out what her critical role entails. Thank you for listening. I'm Daphne Lim.
They Are Making a Difference on 938 Live.